Oh my god, welcome to the biabfar lore. I've actually had people ask me about the biabfar lore a lot recently, mainly because the lore has extended quite a lot. From the last time we talked about it was basically like a year ago or something like that, but welcome to the biabfar lore part 2. In this video we're going to talk about the things that happened after the studs. The current thing, basically. Where everything stands and a couple fun facts. It's gonna be a bit across everywhere because there's not really a starting point to all the things. If I, for example, talk about the sun god is a incredibly powerful being that is dead. The lore for the sun god has been explained in the studs origin video. And I think that video was a little bit garbage because back in the days I had like this goofy ass gameplay in the background that was so fucking loud that you couldn't even hear me speak. But nowadays I fixed that. But I'm just saying, alright. But what we're gonna start off with is most likely the most well-written thing ever, which is the Stud King. And while we're gonna start with the Stud King, is pretty much an interesting question. The Stud King, as of right now, is just kind of sitting around and hoping for something to happen. Not hoping, maybe, but waiting for some reason. The Stud King hasn't really had any goals since last time he fought, and therefore just sits around usually. Well, yes, he's still completely in shape and can fuck up everything, basically. There are a couple people that can actually beat the Stud King, which is the Void God and the Unknown. The Unknown is what I will talk about later on, and it's going to be a little bit of a plot twist. The Stud King does not know about the Void King because they never faced each other ever before. Let me explain. The Void God, or King, however you want to call him, is probably one of the most interesting figures ever. He's a fallen brother of the Sun God. He used to be like the Sun God, but kept doing dumb bullshit or just picking on people for no reason. Just like the Sun God did, but just actually killed them to prove dominance. So one day, he would go to the big void, or the abyss, let's just say, and then throw himself in there. Not because he's dumb or something, but because he thinks he's invincible. He has never been actually beaten or even close to be beaten, so why not just jump into the abyss to find out? After jumping into the abyss, he became the Void God. Angry at everything and mad at everything and wants everything to be dead. Which was what he was before, just now more aggressive. This caused ruckus basically everywhere. When he fell in there, he basically absorbed the entire abyss, which back then used to be a basically really dangerous thing to do, even if you were really strong, you couldn't do something like that. Not even the character that I play in the story can do it. Even though I'm just a gooey mess, which I'll get into later. After the Void God transformed into what he now is, he then attacked his own brother because he was mad that his brother was always stronger than him. While yes, the Void God, before he became what he became, he was basically only half as strong, which this made him stronger, but he still couldn't beat him, because nothing in the whole multiverse could beat him. That's why the Sun God was so important. He was basically the guy to balance out everything. He would pick on people, not because he's mean, but because people wouldn't understand what kind of danger they were in. People were thinking they were strong, that's why Sun God picked on them and fought them, but didn't kill them because they just left them afterwards, just to show them, I am the dominant one here, and you're still in danger. To everyone that was narcissistic, he would do that. I've explained this lore to someone, and I explained a little bit like that Sun God wasn't the best guy because he picked on people. Well, that's true. You can't just pick on people. You could just simply tell them, but he didn't do that. He instead just attacked them. The fight between the Void God and the Sun God was quite an interesting one. Now, the Void God's abilities look a little bit like cloning himself 1,000 times in a singular second, or almost a million times, which that's quite powerful. While his clones are a tenth of his actual power, they're basically one shot, which the Sun God can easily take advantage of. The Sun God is probably the most overpowered creature ever, as I said, because he can spawn entire suns in just a matter of seconds, which they can shoot lasers out of it and basically kill everything around it. There's aimbot if you really want to say it like that. If he can spawn multiple suns in a matter of a minute, that's not going to end well for anyone that's fighting him. With his other shit that he can do, like punching with extreme power, a Sun God's fist, as they say. Basically, if he punches and actually wants to kill you, he uses a special sort of punch that he hasn't really used, which is the Sun God's fist. The Sun God's fist is able to, either he can punch, and the punch will create a ball or a sort of fist-like bullet that will then go towards the enemy, which also has aimbot. Basically, no matter where you are, it will eventually hit you. But they can also spawn a sun shield, which will protect him from literally anything. There is nothing you can do about that. So even if you would throw yourself into the shield, he would eventually kill you. Which made him as strong as he was, because he had basically everything you can possibly think of as a actual thing. Everything that has to do with the sun. Like, imagine a lot of abilities, right? And those abilities transform into a sun. He cannot transform or anything like that, but he can do a lot of attacks that are really strong. High attack, low defense. But, his defense is basically fixed because of the shield. While the Void God, he had a lot of cool attacks as well. Like shooting a beam of void out of a fist, or like cloning himself, teleporting, which the Sun God could of course also do. The Sun God and Void God were pretty much basically similar. Very similar. But the Void God always had the weaker attacks. The Void God could also spawn weapons, shields, and whatever, but they would easily break because of its nature not being sun anymore. It's now void. The shield he had before was in fact stronger, but keep in mind the void was what made him strong and what made him what he is. The reason why that is because he has an extreme high defense as base. You can't just go ahead and try to punch him down. That's not gonna work. Even if the Sun God's fist would eventually come to usage, he'll still survive that, even if he didn't have any clones with him, with ease. And that's why the Sun God and the Void God never really had a winner. Took him out of the battles. Both of them were basically too strong to even die. And if both of them try, then there's not going to be a real winner there. Both of them can also summon weapons in their hands, which is, it's a little bit powerful. The Sun God couldn't replicate himself, but he was strong enough, and so he didn't really need clones. So yeah, as you can tell, they're both quite powerful. But the Stud King used to be way stronger. That's why he won against the Sun God. Keep in mind, the Stud King was the reason why the Sun God even died. While yes, it wasn't a complete death, and Sun God could have still won that fight, but it's how Stud King operates. He doesn't necessarily instantly just attack you on the spot. He lets his little guys, his little studs, people attack whatever the fuck you like. If that's your home or whatever, he will destroy it, and you will learn the grief of it. But Sun God wasn't having it. He knew that with such feeling he couldn't win the fight against Stud King. That's why he made himself implode, leaving Stud King there with a big scar. Even though Sun God's original plan was to kill the Stud King, it didn't quite work out like that. Because the Stud King, again, the probably strongest thing he has is his high defense. That's why Stud King never died, because of his high defense. The studs in itself always have a high defense. I mean, no matter what you fight, even if it's a 10, you're gonna have struggles, alright? At least that is with most. If you're not careful enough, literally the weakest stud of all of them can literally kill you. Which is, it's something. But oh well. That's kind of the Void Gods, the Sun Gods past. They kept crossing ways here and there, really just fighting without really speaking. The Sun God knew what he has to do and what needs to be done, because his brother could not be saved from this. Even though he liked his brother, fighting later on just made it fun. Even though the Void God is basically completely soulless, he still felt a little bit of a remorse when his brother died. Not anything that lasted for the long term, but I guess he missed fighting against him, because it was the only thing that really had a chance, right? And he liked giving himself a challenge. I mean, he's a goddamn Void God. Now, nothing in the universe really would challenge him, and that's why he went to a little place which I call Jertsky. Now, to explain Jertsky, pretty much, it's a lost universe in the multiverse of biabfar. There's nothing really that is not necessarily there, but it's nothing that there is necessarily not there. Back in the days, it used to be a very godly looking place, actually. It used to be very bright, much looked like it was from the Greek gods or whatever. But later on, as time progressed, monsters would come out of absolutely nowhere and try to kill the gods. While they had a fair fight, I guess, the monsters eventually won. Whatever these monsters were, they were zombie-like creatures that would resist more than anything else. Made out of just mass. Still to this day, no one knows where they originally came from. The story in itself doesn't know where they came from. I could make up a story for it, but I think it's more interesting if there's just no story for them. It's like up to speculation, basically. So I'll let you guys speculate about it. Anyways, these creatures, as soon as they came, would attack the gods in that city, eventually winning, and later on, as they won, the city turned darker. As these monsters slowly started to die because there was nothing there they could do, they were just kind of stuck there. They couldn't fly like the other gods, or be fast or whatever. They were just kind of there. And you probably wonder, flip did they win? Sometimes a god can run out of stamina, which meaning that they can't fly anymore, because flying takes up a lot of stamina, which the Sun God and Void God have a lot of. So they don't really need to worry about all that. But when it comes to a normal average god, which if you don't know what a god is, damn, you missed out. Basically, a god is just a creature in the biabfar multiverse, like a normal guy. Basically, I call them all gods because they can all fly and all have their certain abilities and whatever, which they can learn more of if they just try harder. But as of right now, there's just, most people are pretty average. They can just only punch and whatever. Some stronger, some weaker, but oh well. As the gods died in that city, the monster would eventually fuse with the ground. Even then, there was a lot of them because they kept coming in. And after a while, the city was completely dark. Nothing really to see there. The floor was flesh. The walls were alive. And slowly the city started to form into something that it was unrecognizable. Before, it was a happy city with a playground and all that stuff, with various houses. And now it's just, what even is it? It's a box, a lost universe. How you can get in this box is a good question. You smack one of the walls down. That's why you see some bullshit on the floor sometimes, because people used to just destroy the box and then just get in there, which they would eventually regret. Personally, my character likes to explore, so I explored this little town, and I saw the Void God right there on a wall. captured. But what does the Void God do there? Captured without his crown on. Yes, he has a crown, which is the Void Star. So if you want to look up that Roblox hat, it's there. That's what he usually wears. Him being captured is quite odd. What could possibly capture the strongest being currently in this universe? Well, and that's the box itself. This box made out of a weird mess is probably stronger than you can think. There's something in there that triggers someone's PTSD. The Void God never really had anything he feared, so he would just eventually be captured. But there's one thing that everyone fears. That's the unknown I was talking about earlier. The unknown is the Lord of the Universe, which the Lord of the Universe looks a little bit like this, so if you want to look on the screen right now, you can. Yes, big black men. Damn, that sounds wrong. But you know what I mean. He's humongous, and he is basically invincible. Why is he invincible? Because he only exists in your mind. Well, he would exist. It's pretty hard to explain this part of the lore here. He exists, but then again, he doesn't. If you're scared of him, that's what makes him strong. The only weakness he really has is that you are afraid of him, and that will make him spawn no matter what. He will come in and smack your head and do whatever the fuck he wants, really. Otherwise, he's kind of invulnerable. If you try to fight him and you're not scared of him, when you're not scared of him, you can fight him, but attacking him will not do any good. Attacking him makes him, in fact, stronger, and he will still exist afterwards. This box summons this guy. If you try to get in and you don't just get in there in a normal sort of way, for me, lucky enough, I didn't have to break a wall. I could just go in there because the wall was already opened from the last person I went in there. But basically, I got in there without destroying anything, which doesn't make the box very angry. It just accepts that you're there. But for everyone else, they just broke in the box, which eventually it would reform itself into the box it was without the hole in it. Now they had to capture the Void God here because the Void God, as you know, is not scared of anything besides this motherfucking massive ass guy. But the Lord of the Universe didn't really think that killing him would do anything, which then that's why he captured him. He would capture him to make the box work better, which, oh man, it definitely did. As more gods came in and explored, like about 6, they all got in there by punching in the wall, and then they would actually be consumed by the box, which would then regen the point where they slapped in, where they destroyed the box. That's why this one hole I got into is still there. People don't see that hole because it's so small, and I can just go through there because I can change forms, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about myself. My character in the lore is actually pretty interesting. Back in the days, a lot of idiots would just go around the cauldron and throw literally anything in there they could find, which is exactly why I exist. I actually shouldn't exist in the lore's perspective because I'm so weirdly constructed. But anyways, they threw a lot of bullshit in there, and they eventually it formed this black gooey mess that they made there, transformed into something bigger and bigger and bigger, with of course, a bag on the top. I would eventually consume all these fools and then go on by my day. But oh wait, that's not it. After I've been there for like about 2 days or 3, just kind of waiting, I could transform into something that is actually rather not a gooey mess, but more of an actual form, which is the blocky form that you know me as now. Now, the only reason why I transformed into that is because I could. And developing a thought filter in my head to actually start thinking made it way better. Look, I exist because I'm made out of everything you can think of. If there's rats involved, there's rats involved. There's a fucking squid inside of my fucking mess. So, you know, something's fucked. But after a while, sitting around for such a long time made the thought process become a reality. And it just kind of appeared on my head. It's not out of thin air. It slowly constructed itself, but it eventually existed, which it shouldn't because it's a weird concept. It's a brain of some sort that my bag thinks with. And if you know or not, my bag is the only thing that really keeps me alive. The only real weakness that I have is the fucking bag, because it's literally just a bag. You could smack it away with an axe or something, that would work, but I usually dodge the attack, so I guess that wouldn't work. Everything that goes against my bag, I focus a lot on. If you just go against my body, I wouldn't focus too much, but if I have to focus for too long, my stamina will run out. Yes, I have stamina, even though I don't know what the fuck I am. Anyways, how I can transform is basically, my gooey mess can stretch out to 100 times its original size, so one drop could, you know, be 100 drops. Theoretically seen. Just that if I stretch, the mass will become weaker, which means that you can just cut through it, kinda, with ease. That's why I never transformed into something that's fucking massive, because if I stretch too much, you eventually could kill me very easily. And the bag would also grow with it, which I guess is good in a way, but not really. It doesn't really matter. The bag is still a bag, and even if the bag eventually grows along with my body, it's still gonna be as weak as it is. It's a fucking bag. You can just set it on fire. But I'm, again, very careful when it comes to my bag, so good luck on that one. And so yeah, you're probably thinking right now, or something along these lines, can you kill me in some way if I just dodge the attacks all the time? Yes, if I run out of stamina. However you're gonna do that, before you run out of stamina, I'm probably still completely intact, and I could easily kill you. But the thing is, while my character is strong and all that stuff, I still have some mates, basically. Some checkmates, I guess, which is the Stud King. The Stud King there is no real limit to his stamina, which is exactly why he's one of the strongest beings in the biabfar multiverse still. It's because of his staff. His staff is very powerful and he can do a lot of bullshit with that, like speed up his own speed by 100, which makes him attack really fast. Or shoot laser beams at that motherfucker, or make explosions happen. But yeah, my character also likes to explore a lot, so I have a solid form and a gooey form, which is I like to use a solid form because it's literally just better. The gooey form I can barely do anything with, but in my solid form, I can actually do a couple things. Like summon saw blades that I can eventually throw and sort of aim with. I can spawn a lot of them, which means that you'll have a hard time dodging them, but I can also extend my arm by a little bit. For example, if I had to kill you, I will just summon a little bit of gooey mess on the area of my hand that you can see in my Roblox avatar, and I'm just gonna fucking slap in your ass. And as you know, it's acid-like, so keep that in mind while we go forward. My solid form isn't really acid-like. You can touch me without anything happening because it's a solid form. If I decide to just turn to goo for a little bit, you'll eventually die from fucking touching me. Because this goo shit causes an infection on your hand, for example, that would absolutely melt the whole body. Which, yes, it's quite cool. But this has nothing to Stud King, quickly to be said. I cannot do anything. He is completely immune to my goo, so, yeah, I'll probably never fucking beat him. Unless I learn how to use sickles. Which, yes, I can summon, but they're really weak. Like, if just one usage and they're gone, I will have to spawn a new one. Which my character is currently practicing to make those last longer. But oh well, that's the sort of lore for that. The box on itself that I was talking about has something. But a little fun fact aside, I don't fear the Lord of the Universe. I don't fear him at all, actually. My character fears something else which hasn't been defined just yet. And I'll keep this a mystery for now because, oh well, we all like mysteries. And you can solve them if you want to. Comment down below, I'll reply to it if it's wrong or not. Keep in mind all the different characters and whatever while we do this. Now, if you wonder if there's still monsters spawning in that box, no there isn't. Also, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. I will answer every single individual one. If it's a good question, at least. If it's some bullshit, I of course won't answer to it. But if it's like a normal question of like, does the Void God actually know to uncapture himself? Which I would answer with no with, because he can't. The Void God is captured in a really weird way. His arms and legs are put together and he's on a wall. And he's currently being sucked the energy out of. But that doesn't really matter because he could just regen, but that's, what fuels the box. The box can make new secrets and whatever, new things, new ways, and expand with his power. They could do that without him as well, but it wouldn't just be as glowy as it is, which the Lord of the Universe thinks that looks cool, so I guess it looks cool. But oh well. Again, if you have any questions for these or whatever, and whatever you want to see next, I will answer everything in the comments below. If you really want to know about the expansion of the lore, whatever, I can always answer it, because I always have the lore in the back of my head. But in all honesty, there's so much small shit to the lore now that I cannot really put everything in one video. It's very hard to even put anything in the video because I will have to actually think about what I'm saying, so I don't just say something that's actually wrong. Again, I like the details of lores, and I like the effort people put into them. So I put a lot of effort into my lore, and I know the lore is fucking it's humongous, alright? Oh well, man, this has been a wild ride, I'd say. But to get to the end of the video eventually, it's not gonna be too long of a lore video, but it's a lore video, alright, and people waited it. To get to the end of it, the Void God would be freed if someone frees him, but then again, he would probably attack them, but he doesn't have his crown, so he's not as powerful as he usually is. His crown is basically his heart, so he got fucking ripped off by the Lord of the Universe. By the way, the Lord of the Universe is just a nickname. He actually has a name behind it, which I'm not going to mention just now. I'll eventually say it later on, but we'll keep this a mystery for now, alright? I've also had a question where I was asked, will the Sun God ever turn back? And that's no. Once you die in this universe, you're dead. It's like real life, basically. And the Sun God being dead, there's not really much to be said here. The lore has been written, and it's been like this for a long time. I've actually written on the lore, and there's something that's called a universal orb, which I haven't mentioned, but let me get to it real quick. Basically, universal orb is whenever a universe explodes or something along this line because it's too old or whatever, it will create 3 small orbs, which the Stud King can destroy by stultifying it and then smashing it. But otherwise, it's pretty much invulnerable. Which the Stud King has already destroyed a lot of these, but there's still a lot of universes left, so he probably won't succeed in destroying all these different universes. By the way, I call them universes, but they're actually just different places in the universe, or different places in the multiverse in that case. They're humongous, of course, so that's why I call them universes. universes. But when I say that the box is the Druidski box is a small universe, I'm telling you it's a small fucking universe. But yeah, universal orbs gotta be one of my favorites. Which if 3 come together, they will create a new universe, which will then show. Which you can also explore and all that stuff, so that's cool. But yeah, that's kind of the current lore for biabfar. It's pretty much done for now. If people really want me to continue the lore, I will think of something. But it's gonna be really hard to keep writing on because I make lore based off happened events. Like, the lore has been written in a way so that everything leads to this point now. So continuing it is really hard to do. Even though I'm pretty much talented at this sort of stuff, it's still gonna be really hard for me. But, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video in some sort of form. And some questions have been answered about the biabfar lore. Even if you have questions, again, the comment section exists. Also, if you like this video, please like it. I need that ratio, bro. I don't care about if you subscribe or whatever, but at least like the video. The last video I made, bro, that shit went, I don't know where, but that shit has like a shut down emoji. That was so fucking sad when I saw that. Jesus Christ, I had put like hours in that fucking video and it just got like, what, 4 likes? God damn it. It has more fucking comments than likes. But oh well, and all this out of the way. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.